Hello, from everyone at Heart of Bucks to all of our supporters, donors, partners, beneficiaries and stakeholders.
And thank you for taking the time to view this video summary of our year spanning April 21 to March 22. This year has seen our work change, grow and evolve as we continue to work hard to support communities, people and places in Buckinghamshire.
Who could have anticipated the difficulties and hardships which so many people are facing this year? The combined effects of Brexit, the energy crisis, the war in Ukraine, and now the cost of living crisis, exacerbated by steeply rising inflation, have all conspired, much like a perfect storm, to push people into extreme poverty. Two factors, those of fuel poverty and food poverty, seem to have the greatest impact on our society. Whilst there is almost nothing which we can do to influence the cost of fuel so as to help those caught having to make the decision between heating or eating, there are initiatives which Heart of Bucks have put in place to mitigate the worst effects of local poverty. The Winter Warmth campaign, now in its 6th year, invites those for whom fuel poverty is not a concern to donate the equivalent sum of money which the government gives to each household to a fund held by Heart of Bucks. It collects this money and distributes the proceeds to the most needy. For those in food poverty, it is critical that help is given in order to avoid malnutrition, sickness and mental health issues. Help for families living in crisis comes in many forms. Heart of Bucks has set up the Crisis Appeal, giving emergency funding to households in desperate need of help for basic essentials like food. I have only described 2 areas where there are acute pressures on those living in poverty, but I hope it demonstrates that the need is growing ever greater, and the calls upon the Community Foundation for support are growing exponentially.
We are the Community Foundation for Buckinghamshire, a grant-making charity working with many private philanthropists, local businesses, public sector organisations and other charitable foundations to ensure that the charity sector has the financial resources it needs to be effective. Since formation, we have distributed over £11 million in grant funding to the local charity sector, and we have big plans to grow the scale and value of our support even more significantly.
Our grant making covers the issues that matter to local people, including health, poverty, the environment, education and the arts. This year we have issued over 1.3 million in small grants to local charities. Over 700 grants have been awarded, with the average payment to charities now growing in excess of £4,000.
As you might expect, this year these grants have been focused primarily towards health and disadvantage, as the economy and personal well-being remain high on our agenda. Charities and community organisations in Buckinghamshire are enriching our lives, providing a safety net for those that need it, connecting and uplifting people, and generally supporting our society. We're so glad that the generosity of our donors and partners allows us to give such significant financial support to so many local organisations. But we know that, despite the collective efforts of so many, the challenges of the future will be even greater.
In the face of Buckinghamshire's apparent affluence, we have seen increasing difficulties for many people and families living in the county. We know that poverty and financial insecurity has been growing in our county, and so we distributed over £350,000 in small direct payments to households who were struggling to pay utility bills, buy basic essentials such as food, or keep the roof over their heads. Our unique network of volunteer advocates within our communities means that we can reach into the furthest corners.
We could not do the work we do without the support and friendship of so many organisations in the county. Working collaboratively and in partnership remains, as ever, a fundamental aspect to our work. We know that we will make a bigger difference by working closely with those organisations who share our mission to support Buckinghamshire communities. For example, we worked closely with Buckinghamshire Council to financially support conflict refugees arriving in Buckinghamshire from Ukraine and Afghanistan. We also work closely with our long-term partners at Rectory Homes to develop the Rectory Foundation, a new funding opportunity for local communities. And looking nationally, we've partnered with Arts Council England to manage a small but popular local funding programme to deliver cultural activities to mark Her Majesty the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The Queen was a great role model for the nation and will be remembered with the greatest of respect for her impact on so many charities throughout the UK. The team was pleased to both give and receive recognition during a difficult year. 2021 saw the introduction of the Heart of Bucks President's Award, which will be presented to a different local philanthropist for their outstanding contribution to philanthropy in Buckinghamshire. And we were delighted to present our friend and long-standing patron, James Frost, with the inaugural award at our annual reception in September. Our staff team were also delighted to receive a collective High Sheriff Award from George Anson in December 2021, commending our charity for an outstanding contribution to reducing local hardship throughout the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our strategy for the future remains on course. We will raise funds through close working relationships with many donors and philanthropy partners. We will use these funds to make a significant impact in the Buckinghamshire county sector. And most importantly, we will use our local knowledge and connections to champion everyone in our county, helping fund solutions to the social problems that affect us.
We are grateful to have the support of so many in helping us to achieve our goals. Thank you to everyone who has supported us by donating money or time to help us help our community. For those that are considering getting involved in our work, we hope that you will join us in achieving our vision as we go about creating a culture of giving that strengthens and supports communities throughout Buckinghamshire.